everyone, welcome back to another episode of This Square Room. My name is Jonel.
I am Deswayne.
And we are happy to have you here. Don't forget to share this podcast with a friend, rate us on iTunes, Spotify, whatever platform you are listening on. It would mean a lot, give us 5 stars, or I think they're all 5 stars, right? There's none with a 3-star, like 3 being the highest. It's all 5.
No, it's all 5.
Yeah. Why, as soon as we start this, can you turn the blinds for me? The sun is like trying to blind me right now. No, wrong way. Okay. I'm like, not again. Des, something happened this weekend.
Something good or something bad?
Something interesting.
Okay.
I went down a rabbit hole. And I think I've been down this rabbit hole before, but something about this time really fucked me up emotionally.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I have to talk about it. I wrote notes. I have my document here. Listen, the rabbit hole I went down was about dreaming. Specifically.
I'm so sorry.
I know, right?
I've been here.
Specifically, lucid dreaming.
I've been it.
Okay. Because we need to talk.
We will.
We need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm I don't know if you can see my body language, but I am shook. Okay.
Shooketh.
Here's the thing. I cannot lucid dream, and I do not, knock on wood, I don't have sleep paralysis. I don't suffer from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's never happened before, and I never want it to happen. So for anyone who doesn't know what lucid dreaming is, Deswayne.
Lucid dreaming is when you are asleep, your body is asleep. Mm-hmm. However, your quote unquote soul,
your mind,
soul travels outside of your body. It sounds crazy.
No, you're thinking about astral projection.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. Okay, you went straight to Insidious.
Oh.
I know it's spooky month, but no. Okay, so what Des is describing, I don't know if you guys remember a few episodes ago when we were talking about the you watching a scary movie and blah blah blah,
yeah.
And I said Insidious is the scariest movie, and the whole premise of that movie is a little boy can astral project, so that's when his soul leaves his body and he can
travel.
Yeah, but the real world, he's not in a different plane, he's just out of his body, and then obviously demons are ooh, free little boy body,
yeah.
I want to get in there.
Okay.
That's astral projection. I'm pretty sure. I don't want you guys being actually, I don't give a fuck. Okay, that's not what we're talking about today. Lucid dreaming is when you are asleep and dreaming, and in your dream, you're hey, I'm asleep right now. I can control my dreams as I please. If I want to fly, I can fly. If I want to become a elephant, I can you.
Lucid dream is you controlling your dream.
Yes.
Pish posh. I do that all the time.
Right. And then sleep paralysis is when your body is still sleeping, but your mind wakes up. Yeah. So it's your body can't move. You're still asleep. You can usually open your eyes. I know some people can't open their eyes. But your brain is what's happening? I'm laying in my bed, but I can't move. And normally lasts for a couple minutes. Your body's wait, a couple more minutes, mom. And some people who can open their eyes, because you're in this weird state of in between. Some people see, quote unquote, their sleep paralysis demon. They just see shadows and figures because their mind is not fully awake, so it's still playing tricks on them. We're also not talking about that today.
I just need you guys to understand where this episode is headed. So,
just
so they know, because it will head down there. Because all of these things I've had.
Well, listen, we need to talk about lucid dreaming, though.
Yes.
Because lucid dreaming can be a beautiful thing. Not something I ever want to try, because I've been told that if you open your mind to lucid dreaming, you're opening up yourself to sleep paralysis and all those other
things. Right. Else.
And I'm just you know what? I love sleep. I love just being knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. So just let me have that, please. I don't care to fly and make the clouds into cotton candy. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Although funny enough, my mom literally called me last night and told me that she had a dream that she said it was me, but I was like younger. I was like maybe like 11 or 12. And like some man and his wife were like using radio frequency to like make me sick. Like it was targeting my bedroom. And like my mom like climbed up to the roof and saw this thing, and she confronted them, and they're just like we don't want to do this, but like we've been sent here. Like it's just a job. And she's just like, it's my daughter, like you're making her sick. And she's like, who sent you? And they're like, I can't tell you that. Like it was a weird, really fucked up. And I was like, this comes right after me going down this rabbit hole. So I was like, Mom, at least you weren't lucid. So okay, let me refer to my notes. So I was on TikTok, as one does, just literally living my life, living my life, you know. I come across this TikTok creator. Sarah James is her name. Now she, first of all, I didn't know this. I saw a video about her lucid dreaming experience, and then I went down the rabbit hole started with her. And it started with her videos, her experiences that she's been talking about a lot recently. But like that's not even the type of content she creates. She does like fashion videos and stuff like that. But then like she was talking about dreams, and then people were commenting, and then she's like, oh my God, this happens to me all the time. Like I can share so many stories. And she did. So she can lucid dream. She's been doing it since she was a kid, and she lucid dreams almost every time she's asleep. To the point when she has like reality checks to remind herself that if she's asleep or not. And she's been doing it since she's a kid. For instance, if she's in a dream and she looks at her hands and they look very wrinkly, then she knows that she's dreaming, because she's still pretty young. So she knows like, okay, like this is
one of
off.
those pinch me,
Right. Like, no, but like it doesn't scare her. Like because she's been doing it again since she was a child. So like now when she's like, oh, something is off, she's like, oh, cool. Like I'm in control. So it's not scary. Right. Yeah. So she was recently dreaming, and she was at a table by the beach with a bunch of people. But everyone that she was with, she did not recognize. Then she looked at the water, and the waves were moving in a weird way. And that's how she instantly realized she was dreaming. So once she realized she was asleep, she remembered that she wanted to see what happens when you ask someone in your dream the date and time. So apparently this is like a thing. Like, because like, you know how like time works differently in your dreams. Like you'll take a 5-minute nap, and you can have a full dream. Like it's a full day basically. Right. So, so I don't know, like it's just really fucked up. So she turned to her right and asked, like this is in the dream now, because now she's like, oh, I'm dreaming. I remember that I wanted to do this, so I'm going to do it. So she turned to her right and asked the girl beside her the date and the time. The girl seemed kind of stunned at first, and then very directly responded, it's 10:10 at 2:13 p.m. sharp. And then Sarah was like, what? In the dream still. And the girl said again, 10:10, 2:13 p.m. sharp. So like she felt like it was weird, but once it happened, she decided that she was,
leave it there.
Yeah. She's like, okay, well, thanks. That was weird. Yeah. Like, okay, well, now that I'm lucid, I'm going to explore my dream world. But one of the guys at the table with her grabbed her by the arm and was like, it's time for you to go now. And Sarah was like, what? And the guy was like, you're going to have to wake up now. And Sarah was like, no, it's all good. Like, I'm dreaming. Like, I'm going to go explore. But the guy was like, no, it's time for you to wake up. And he took her head and shoved it underwater. And she was saying that usually when she's lucid dreaming, she can usually breathe underwater because she's lucid. Like, she's controlling it. But she said this time she couldn't control it. And she felt like the bubbles filling up in her nose. And then she was forced to wake up. So when she woke up, she was in bed with her fiance. And she decided to write down what happened in her dream journal. Because she knew she wanted to make like a TikTok about it and whatever. So she did. She wrote it down, and then she was just kind of like chilling in bed. And then she was woken up by her fiance coming like out of the bathroom back into the bedroom, which is weird because she thought he was in the bed
with her,
beside her. And she already thought she woke up. She thought the drowning woke her up. But so when she was like, she thought she was woken up by the drowning. She wasn't actually woken up, which led her and some of the other people in the comments to question if the dream people tricked her to like think she woke up so that she would hopefully forget what happened. Because she like she knew she was awake for sure the second time, and like she looked at the dream journal and nothing was in there, but she vividly remembers writing down the dream. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like, literally, it was kind of like Inception. Like she had a dream within a dream. Mm-hmm. So then, of course, not only do I look into, like I watch a whole bunch of her other videos. Some were like creepy, some were like eerie, some were like cool in like still kind of creepy ways. Mm-hmm. And then I like did some Googling. Oh my gosh, actually, yeah. There was this like forum, I'm pretty sure it was Reddit. Here it is. But I also, eventually had to go down the Inception rabbit hole.
Been there.
Okay, so I was looking into what is necessarily like wrong with like asking the date and time in a dream. So this is just like a Reddit forum of like people sharing their experiences. Someone said that, okay, this one's not that, it's still, they're all very weird, but some are like not like story worthy. Like they were saying that like this person had like very dark skin, but like glary, almost glowy eyes. And they said the time doesn't matter. And then they just kept walking. And then the next group, the person just said 32. And the person beside them said, nah, it's 26. Like for the
year,
date and time. Like it didn't make sense. Someone said that I don't recommend doing it. They said, I asked in a lucid dream last night while in a car full of people, like the date and time. And they all turned around and looked at me like it was a glitch. They then drove the car into a tree and it went black after that. It's like your dreams don't want you to like
question certain things.
Right. Because they say like one of the rules of lucid dreaming is you can't let them know that you're in a dream. You have to just act, even if you think you can control things, like don't let them know. Don't let the dream people know. But like the dream people are supposed to be your subconscious, so it's like, why can't, like, I don't know. Hold on, let me see. There's more here. Oops. Oh God, this one is long. This one, she's a 30-year-old woman. She's been lucid dreaming her whole life before she even knew that it was lucid dreaming. She says 3 out of 7 nights are filled with lucid dreams. She was able to explore her dreams and blah, blah, blah. She even tried and failed to remember details and numbers because it's like when she opens her eyes, someone takes the details she's uncovered and things that her conscious mind is not supposed to know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why is your unconscious mind, your subconscious, like keeping things from you? I feel like I sound like a little bit like crazy, but like it makes sense.
It does.
Because they say like, like when you have a dream and it's so crazy and you wake up and you're just coming out of it, and then like within a few minutes
you
don't
like, remember nothing.
Right. But like if you had a crazy night out, unless you were like blackout drunk, then like you remember. It's like, why is this thing that I just saw and experienced so vividly so hard for me to remember? People said that they're like asking what's the basis for not telling dream people that they're in a dream. And they said that another person responded saying that in their experience, they either don't want you to know that it's a dream, for instance, like acting like they don't know what you're talking about or ignoring you, or they flip out and kick you out of the dream. Like when you reveal that it's either they gaslight you and they're like, what are you talking about? Or they're just like, you got like
murder.
Like the guy said, she was like, okay, like now that I know I'm lucid dreaming, like I'm gonna go explore.
And he was like, you gotta go.
No, and like straight up like, because they say if you die in your dream you wake up, right? So like to me that's scary, because like again, if you're lucid dreaming, because she's like, why couldn't I control that? Like,
it's not if you die in a dream, by the way. It's if you feel like you're dying.
Well, true. No.
Yeah. If you fall off a cliff in your dream, you don't ever see when you hit the ground because you wake up by then.
Right.
If you can see that you hit the ground, you're dead. You've had a heart attack in real life or something.
Well, here's the thing. Well, okay, so then like I said, after all of this, I was like, okay, I have to watch Inception because for me that is
I'm so sorry.
Well, no, I watched it back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It came out in 2010 and I saw it then in theaters. And I have not seen it since because it fucked me up back then.
All the way up.
But I fucked myself up so keep in mind, I was going through all this lucid dreaming
and
stuff.
And then watched it.
At about 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
Right? And then I was like, okay. And I was like, right then and there, I'm going to watch Inception, which first of all, I remember even in the theater, I'm like, this is a very long movie. It's like just over 2.5 hours, which is like no movie's that long except for Harry Potter and Marvel.
Titanic.
True. But you know what I mean? Like it's very long for a movie. And it's fucked up because like even the girl was saying like one of the comments was like, oh, you know, like this kind of reminds me of Inception, and she's like, in a way it is. She's like, I can't like build layers in my dream, and like I can't, like, things don't materialize the same way, right? But she's like for her, when she changes something in her dream, it's not like she can like move things with her mind. Like she like will close her eyes in the dream and then like picture how she wants it and then open it and it'll change, right? So she's like, it's a little more like not as like fancy, but again, that's like movie magic, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, a lot of the things are similar. She's never like had a dream within a dream within a dream. Like she hasn't done any of that, or she can't like put herself to sleep in the dream, like, you know. But yeah, there are some similarities, and like, first of all, I forgot how I'm not gonna spoil it, although the movie came out literally 12 years ago, so like whatever.
Sucks for you.
But like, I forgot how fucked up that movie is at the end.
Oh my God.
Like as it was happening, I'm like, oh, I remember. And I was like, oh man. Because like, that's what I actually like. When I watch a movie, I don't like to watch it again a few months later or even a year. I like to like forget for the most part so that it
feels like you're just watching it again.
Somewhat fresh. Yeah. I enjoy like having the opportunity to watch the movie with like fresh eyes. And like, because it came out when I was so young, like I think I got to like pick up on things and like understand things, but I was just like so fucked up because of this like dream thing. And like, I've always maintained the fact that I don't want to ever lucid dream. I know when people do it, like they say it's like a fun thing and like you're in control, but like I feel like you open up yourself to a whole bunch of things, and like I'm not even talking about like weird paranormal shit like Insidious and like astral projection. I'm just talking about like sleep paralysis. Like, it does not sound nice. I don't want to experience it. I've had friends who have told me about their experience. I've had a boyfriend who had sleep paralysis while like laying beside me. I feel like anytime we were like up late talking and hanging out, like he was not like a night person and I was, so like anytime he was like didn't get a lot of sleep and was really, really tired, he would have sleep paralysis. But like his was different. It was like his eyes, he didn't open his eyes, but like, and because I typically would be like up on my phone or like watching TV or something, I like, you just see like slight twitching, but like he can't move his body, but it's like little like twitching, and then like and then like I'd like shake him up and he's like, oh my God, thank you, like I was calling out to you for so long. And I was like, oh, this is scary, don't say that.
You don't remember when we're on the phone and I had mine? No? Oh my God. Okay, I told this story the other day. Okay, so this was
yeah, you told me you were calling me and I was like, no, I didn't hear
you. Like literally tears in my eyes every time I think about it. It is terrifying.
Oh my God, yeah, we were on the phone.
So I'm on the phone with Joe one night and I'm in my room. My room was in the basement.
You know those times when like you're just on your phone with a friend and like you're not talking.
Yeah, you just fall asleep. I fall asleep for everything.
Yeah, you're doing your own individual things, but you guys are still on the phone. Yeah. It was one of those. Yeah.
So I'm laying on my back. I remember this perfectly. So I'm laying on my back.
I feel like it's always on your back.
And always on your back. People. Always. Now I purposely sleep on my stomach because of that. So I'm laying on my back and I know I'm sleeping, but then also I'm astral projecting because I'm looking at myself sleeping. Ugh. I remember looking at myself laying in the bed and I was questioning how I'm looking at myself. But while I'm looking at myself, I feel like I'm being pulled off the bed. So while I feel like this in my brain or whatever,
your physical body feels like it's being pulled
off
the bed.
But I'm looking at myself.
And are you looking like you're sliding off the bed?
I look down and there's a hand at the bottom of the bed coming from under the bed, pulling me. And as it's pulling me slowly, I'm screaming. I'm like, Joe, and I'm screaming.
Because you can hear me on the phone.
I hear Joe on the phone, and I hear American Dad. I hear Francine talking, and I don't watch American Dad.
Don't expose me.
So I'm screaming. Joe's not answering. I don't know what to do. So because church taught me to pray, so I started praying. And all of a sudden, it let me go, and I shot up to the wall. and like the phone fell out my hand to how I shot up to the wall. And I picked up the phone and I'm like, Joe, what's wrong with you? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, didn't you hear me calling you? And she's like, you were sleeping. You were literally snoring. I'm like, Joe, you're watching American Dad. Francine just said da-da-da. And she's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Des, I promise you were snoring. I did not sleep downstairs for a good while. I couldn't do it. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually crazy to not only astral project, but to have sleep paralysis at the same time.
Thank you. Like, terrifying.
Like, you saw your demon in 4K.
Literally. And like,
holy
to
shit.
this day, I'm afraid for my legs to hang off the bed when I'm falling asleep.
Oh,
like, I need to be under, like, I can't.
And I was like, why did I find this video literally like at like 3 something in the morning?
Yep.
It was Saturday night. I was home. Well, technically it was Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, holy shit. But then it's like, I couldn't stop. And like, I knew it could have gotten
so
worse.
Much worse. So
So
much.
I stopped at, like I said, I stopped at the not the astral projection.
The
lucid dreaming. And then that's why I went to Insidious. It was either that or the girl mentioned the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, which came out earlier this year. I haven't seen it. But when I read the synopsis, it didn't seem like what I wanted. Hold on. Like, here's the thing. Obviously, I'm not like, Insidious is like, Insidious. See? Because the astral projection, you keep fucking me up. Inception. Yo, there's a reason why those words are very close to each other. Yeah, I was like, not necessarily doing research, but because like the comments were like, oh, this does sound like Inception. And she's like, yeah, like there are similarities. She said it's not the exact same, but you know, there are similarities. I was like, okay, I have to watch it because I was already thinking it. Okay, so Everything Everywhere All at Once says, when an interdimensional rupture unravels reality, an unlikely hero must channel her newfound powers to fight bizarre, bewildering dangers from the multiverse as the fate of the world hangs in the balance.
Okay.
And, yeah, I was kind of like, Yeah, Tupaki's power to see and feel everything everywhere all at once leads her to believe that nothing really matters, and in any and every single universe. Her main goal then is to use an everything bagel, the literalization of everything not mattering, to suck all the multiverses into the infinite void of nothingness. So I was like, I don't think that's what I'm aiming for. I mean, I'm sure it's a decent movie. Oh my God. They still have like showings in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it got like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. So like it seems, But I was like, it's just not, like, I think Inception was a lot more. And then also I realized, like, it's, like, extra fucked up because, like, I think, like, the guys in Inception, like, they're doing, like, a not good thing.
No, horrible thing. Horrible, literally.
Again, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just kind of like, whatever your reasons are, you shouldn't be doing that.
When I watched Inception, I've heard people talk about it as we were like high school and stuff.
You didn't watch it back then?
I never watched it until last summer.
Oh.
And it fucked me up for weeks. When I say for weeks, Joe, for weeks. Because
you
same
still
way,
seem a little fucked up.
I'm still fucked up. I'm still fucked up because I already believed in this stuff. So
well, you didn't need to believe. You experienced it. So it's like,
that's true.
Are you going to be in denial of your reality?
Very
or what?
true. With lucid dreaming, however, when me and one of my exes broke up, I kept dreaming about her every night. Every night.
Oh my God. Yeah. And you spoke about it on the podcast.
Yes. And then I had a friend tell me, in the dream, just stop avoiding her. Because in the dream, no, I was chasing her. I lied. I was trying to talk to her in the dream and she was avoiding me.
No, you were running.
No. I was running after. At first, I was chasing her.
But then at one point you were like, I remember in real life you were talking to me and you're like, every time she like, we get close, like I run away or like I wake up.
Yeah, that was after.
And you're like, I'm like avoiding it. And I was like, well, confront it.
Because
her. Like you realize that you're dreaming.
Yeah.
You know that this is a dream. So like you're lucid in the moment, but you're still running.
You're still running.
Even though you're controlling it. Oh my God, that's like Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Yeah.
Running from someone in his subconscious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
the
so
lucid
scary.
dream, now I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly fine with it because I don't, like, I know I'm sleeping, but I don't do anything like, oh, let me wander around. Let me do this.
Yeah.
I just, I'm sleeping. Okay, cool. And I'll have regular conversation. Regular conversation. Yeah. Like, go ahead. Play out the way you're going to play out. And if something's going to happen that I don't want to happen, I'm up. You're not gonna get me this time.
See, you can do that. I can't do that. Like, if I'm having a nightmare, like, I'm living it as if it's real. I cannot control it. It is scary. Like, I remember I've like had dreams to the point when like you wake up and like you're upset all day because the emotions
it's still there.
Feel so real. Like, I've experienced like death and loss in my dreams. I've experienced like being like hunted and like murderers coming after me, and it's just like it feels so real. And like you wake up and you are like I've had experience dreams where it's like my significant other who's like not anyone like real, but like in my dream we're together and like they do something and it hurts me so bad and I wake up heartbroken over someone that doesn't exist.
I was telling my son and his mom that the other night I had a dream about him, but I was his age and we were best friends.
Oh,
so
it's cute.
And like he was okay with it. Like when we were talking about it, he's like, yeah, I could see that. And like I was just telling him some stuff that were going on in the class and like we're in class and all that. And he was like, yeah, that sounds very likely. And because me and him are like, we're very similar now. So if we were the same age, we'd almost be like twins, like can read each other's mind.
You
were
more sensitive at his age though.
No.
Or is that when you started to come out of that?
That's when, right now where he is, I was out of the sensitivity phase.
Well, you just buried it.
Yeah. Oh, buried it very deep. Yeah.
But I feel like he doesn't have the same type of trauma you had. So his like nonchalantness, that comes from seeing you as nonchalant.
Exactly.
Not because he's really trying to like suppress trauma. Whereas like I
was suppressing trauma for sure.
Right. Yeah. So like you guys would have been a little different, but like the same, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like
your brain it's easier for you to like picture him at like this age and like change yourself.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. Instead of him older.
Yeah. Because like your brain has never, I mean, not to say you couldn't have done that, but like your brain, they say like even every stranger that you see in your dream is someone that you've seen in real before. Life, because they say your brain cannot make new faces. So like you pass someone on the road and like you just look at them and like you don't really think much about it, but your subconscious keeps so it. That's where all these strangers come from. That's why sometimes you dream about like the people that you know. Like for instance, maybe you have a dream and I'm in the dream, but like I'm not me in the dream.
Yeah.
Maybe my name is Ashley, but like you know my face, like, or you know
Joe,
me.
you were there.
Yeah. Or like the person looked like you, but it wasn't you, but it was you. Or like it was my son, but it wasn't him. Like, you know, so like they say like everyone's face, or like, you know how I just said like I had a dream and like I was like heartbroken by someone. I don't know who that is. Like I probably don't know who that is, but it's probably a face that I've seen somewhere.
Before. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really weird. And like when I hear people's positive stories about like lucid dreaming, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but it still does not interest me because I know like with the good comes the bad. And like because you know that you can lucid dream and stuff, that's also why you're opened up to like your mind is so fucked up. I think that's like the punishment that the dream people do, because they're just like, you can lucid dream, we're sending demons after you.
Exactly.
No, seriously,
because you're in a world that you shouldn't be here.
But it's like, okay, now when we say dream people, there's theories, right? Like, is your brain going to, like, okay, we talked about the everything everywhere all at once. Like, is it a multiverse? Like, are you going to a different dimension?
That's where I'm at.
Or is it just all in your head? But if it's all in your head, what are you hiding from yourself? What are we all hiding from ourselves that our subconscious wouldn't want us to?
Yeah.
And then it's like, if our subconscious doesn't want us to know that we're dreaming, is it protecting us or is it hiding something?
Especially because as humans, we only use a small percentage of our brain. So what the fuck is the rest?
Right? It's just like when they say like the ocean, right? Like most of it is unexplored. Like if something that we have like, I don't want to say conquered, but you know what I mean? We're in the ocean, we're crossing the oceans,
you know,
we
built things.
The ocean.
Exactly. We're making new ones.
Right, we're creating them from like man-made fucking bodies of water. It's just like, why do we not have the same type of control? Like, I don't know. It's just it's scary to think about. And like, I'm one of those people that's just like, what I don't know can't hurt me. It's like ignorance is bliss. It's like I'm so scared that I'd rather just live in my bubble
and be safe,
or I should say sleep in my bubble, and not have to worry about it, because like, I honestly feel like even me just speaking about it now
crazy.
is not just crazy. It's just like I feel like I'm opening up myself to have that happen, and I don't like, universe, please, I won't ask the date and time. I promise. Like, I just
see, that's crazy that you say that, because I didn't know that, and I want to ask the date and time. I want to see what happens when I do that.
I want you to, but like, be safe.
I will try.
Please. Don't let them get you.
No, they won't get me.
And stop the astral projection because
that I stopped because I'm afraid that I won't be able to get to my body one day.
Yes. And that's the insidious thing, is that, like, you know, he could do it. He could see himself sleep. He would go in his mommy and daddy's room and and then he's like, let's explore the neighborhood. Let's explore this, that. And I guess he could, like, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but like my brain is telling me it was like he could like kind of fly and travel and whatever. And it's like, okay. And like the further and further away he got, the closer and closer other entities were able to get to the point when like they were now crossing over, and like it's like the boy was like almost like in a coma because they had like trapped his soul or his spirit or whatever it is, and like he couldn't get back to his body because other entities were trying. That's and like crazy. His parents were trying to like, you know, rebuke and whatever, but it's like, so I would say don't. Don't.
That sleep paralysis, however, like
I know that you can't control that one.
And the doctors told me that I might have that. Like I might, like they've actually told me like, you might want to get this checked out. And I'm like, I'm good. Only because there's something about it and my lucid dreams that tie together, and I don't know what it is yet, and I want to find out on my own. Because I really like my lucid dreaming. Only because, like I said, I don't do anything crazy. I'm not like, oh, I know I'm dreaming, so let's do this.
Let's fly.
I've never flied. Yeah. I've saved my own life, of course.
What do you mean?
Like in a dream, I was in a cabin, and it was like a scary movie kind of cabin, like somebody's coming to kill you.
See, but if you're lucid, why can't you just be not a cabin anymore? Now I'm on the beach.
That's what I said. Like I don't want to change anything. I want to see how it plays out.
Oh, okay.
So I was playing it out, and right when I was dying,
play out
a scary thing, because I knew I was dreaming.
So you weren't as scared.
No.
So that's like the girl, like when she says she experiences things that are like like when the guy, like imagine like in real life, if you're like, I'm gonna leave, and some man who you don't know grabs your hand, a woman would be scared, but she's like, no, I know him in my dream. Like,
exactly.
She's like, I'm still in control, so like if I wanted to make him let go, I could. So at first she wasn't scared until she found herself drowning.
After I watched Inception. Yeah, okay.
The
non-scary movie. After I watched Inception and I did my research, every night for that week I had multiple, like a dream in a dream, and there was one time I had 3 or 4, and I've never been so scared in my life. And it really makes you question, are you still dreaming? I was
right. That's why this girl, she says she has a reality check. So it's like, I look at my hands. She said that she looks at herself in the mirror and she can tell if she's dreaming because it's like distorted. Where she said for her, actually, when she looks down at her body, sometimes she doesn't see her body. You know, like in a video game, you don't see the body. So she's like, okay, I'm dreaming. Obviously in Inception, people, they have like their little like totems like that, like only they know the feel, the weight, the whatever, and you know, it lets them know, yes, I'm still in reality, or no, I'm not. You need something like that.
I do. You
have one?
No, but I do need one. Yeah. Because I think that same night after I did my research,
it needs to be something that like you don't let other people like touch though.
Good luck with that. I need to find one because I let everybody touch everything. I don't give a fuck.
No, but like that's the thing, right? Because it's like when someone else knows, like if you're dreaming, like they like in the dream world, they can know and fuck you up. So even like your loved ones, your son, your girlfriend, like don't touch it. Like this is my little sense. But it has to be like something you can like put in your pocket, like, you know, small.
Yeah. I'll find something.
Holy shit.
After I watch Insidious After I watch Inception, whoa, let's get that straight. I did not watch Insidious all now.
You still it?
Are you crazy? So after I watched it
for research.
No, I don't. No,
for astral
I will
projection
Google it.
Purposes.
I will Google it.
What if sleep paralysis demons are demons trying to take over? Like
it probably is, and they say like sometimes it sits on your chest, so you literally can't move.
I've never experienced that.
It's terrifying. Like, you see when people wake up and they're like, yeah. That's how I used to wake up, like, so many nights.
Well, also sometimes you have sleep apnea and you're like literally suffocating when you sleep. You know when people have to use the CPAP machines? Yeah. There's that too. But yeah.
So after I did my research about it and everything, I watched a movie at this girl's house and she went to sleep and I couldn't sleep because I'm fucked up right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm laying beside her trying to fall asleep and something weird happened. And I ran outside and I go look and and I realize I'm in a dream. But it's the girl's backyard and everything looks like her place. But I'm freaking the fuck out. And then when I realized it was a dream, I was like, okay, Des, wake up, wake up, wake up. I woke up and me and her were sitting at the table talking. And I was telling her about the dream I just had. Mm-hmm. We're eating, we're talking. Everything is fine, Joe.
How did you get there?
Exactly.
You woke up at
all
a
of
table?
A sudden, I thought about it and I was like, wait. When did I wake up?
Because in dreams, one big indication that you're in a dream is that, like,
you don't know how you got there.
You just kind of like start in the middle of it.
Yeah.
There's no like, I'm waking up, starting my day, and then traveling to this location. You're just at the location. Sometimes you're in the middle of a conversation. Like, you're just in the middle of it. You don't know how you got there. You don't know, like, you know what I mean? That's a big indication that you're in a dream. It's just like, it just starts.
Exactly. So me and her are eating, and then I realize, how did I get here? How did we get here? We were just sleeping. And I realized it was still a dream. So I tried to wake myself up. And like, I'm telling myself, wake up. But I wasn't waking up. So in my head, I was like, maybe it's not a dream. But then she did something that was weird. And I'm like, this has to be a dream.
You didn't say it out loud though, did you?
No. I said it in my head.
Fucking killed you in the dream.
And I was like, this is weird. So I think I locked myself in the bathroom. And like, I don't know what I did. I did something. But then I woke myself up. So I woke up and I'm in my bed now, panting in my bed. I go to the bathroom. I wash my face. I'm thinking about the 2 dreams that just happened. As I'm washing my face, I look up and there's no mirror. But there's a mirror in my bathroom. Where did my mirror go? I'm still in a fucking dream. When I woke up in real life, it was like 11 a.m. because I went to sleep at like 6. It was 11 a.m.
6 p.m.?
It was 6 a.m.
No, you went to sleep at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Because we watched the movie at like 12. She went to bed at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I was just up researching. Then I went to sleep because it was too much for me. Okay. And as I wake up, I look, she's not there. I don't know if I'm actually dreaming or not at this point. So I don't even get up off the bed. I purposely fall off the bed, and it hurt. So I'm like, okay, I'm awake. Mm-hmm. But the whole day went by and I'm just questioning every little moment. And that is the scariest part about it.
So how do you know that you are still not dreaming?
Because I felt pain. Like, you know when they say...
You can feel pain in your dreams.
I've never felt pain in my dream. Anytime that pain was coming, I would wake up. So you know how they say, pinch me, I think I'm dreaming? Mm-hmm. That's why they say it. Because like, you really shouldn't feel a pinch.
They say that you can feel pain, but you can't die. Because, like, even in Inception, that was the thing. It's like, yeah, if I kill him, he's going to wake up.
Yeah.
But if I shoot him in, like, the foot...
He'll just be shot in the foot.
And because pain is a state of mind.
Yeah.
So your mind feels the pain whether you're awake or asleep. I could still be dreaming right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've experienced... Like, when I tell you, like, I've had heartache in my... sleep and woken up like literally feeling like I just like got my heart broken.
Yeah.
Like that type of like weird heaviness on your chest and like where you're just like sad and upset and it's just like that was an emotion. It wasn't like I didn't get like shot in the foot, but like that's something that you feel in your dream and then I don't know.
I woke up crying before like
oh yeah.
Like,
tears.
Like I've been crying my whole dream. Yeah. I used to be afraid of it. But now I kind of welcome it in a certain sense. Like I'm not searching for it, not at all. But if I have a dream and I want to be like, hey, I'm dreaming, then I'll be like, hey, I'm dreaming. There's dreams I have and I'm just like, nope, we are not doing this today. Wake up, Wingardium Leviosa. And I'm out of there because I'm not doing that. I'm not. Anytime I see my ex, I'm not doing it.
That's not the right
spell.
I'm not.
It's not. It's not. But it's a spell and I'm out of there. Levitate away. Yep. levitate away.
I'm really fighting not to say it. you know what I want to say, but yeah, it's just it's not for me, and that's why sometimes, like, I know you always like roll your eyes when I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna like sage my house or whatever, but like I don't want any bad spirits, I don't want bad juju, I don't want bad vibes, bad energy. So like, give me my crystals, give me my sage, give me my fucking
when there's good shit. There's bad. So to me, the more like,
let me cleanse, let me clear.
The way I look at that stuff is the more like, let's say crystals and all that stuff, sage stuff, the more you do that, the second you slip up, it's like, attack! We finally got him! So to me, it's like, if you just kind of have a good balance mentally and physically between these things, then it's not like coming for you.
Sometimes when I walk my dog late at night and I come in, you know, sometimes like when things are just very quiet, like eerily quiet, because like it's nighttime, so it's always quiet, but like when it's just like very eerily quiet, I remember my mom had told me this, or I think it was my mom, an adult told me this like years ago, and it was that like if you're entering your
home, tell me, don't turn around.
No, you should turn around. Because any spirit will not follow you in if you're looking at it. So you turn and you look before you close the door.
Sickening. No way.
So sometimes I do that.
Nope.
When I feel just something, the hairs on the back of my neck.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and I, you know.
See, I do the opposite.
No, don't turn around. That shit is right behind you.
You know why? I don't turn around because I feel like if I turn left, what is to stop you from going the other way to get inside? And I turn and I look and there's nothing. First now you're inside.
You think my door is wide open? No. I crack the door open, I turn, and I walk backwards.
I can't.
Until I like a couple steps, and then I close the door.
I'm not that brave. I unlock the door.
Honestly, there's been a couple times and I've just been like, you're not welcome. Because, you know, like they say with Ouija boards, like you have to say goodbye. You have to say certain things because like spirits
will stay.
Yeah, sometimes you can't like if they're not invited, like they'll try to cling on, but if you like do these things, like you're not welcome, you cannot stay, leave me alone, I do not invite you back with me, you must, like, all the, because like I've also been like watching like ghost hunting videos, but like not by myself. I've been watching them there's this one streamer on Twitch, and like sometimes he watches videos and like I'll like watch it. It's weird because like I'm not like commenting or anything, but like with him speaking over it, it makes me feel like I'm not watching it alone.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because he'll just stream it from YouTube and like comment, and like people are like commenting in his chat, and I'm just like, I'm not chatting, but like it puts me more at ease to watch those type of things because like I'm not watching that shit by myself. And like technically I'm by myself, but you feel like you're not alone, especially when like he pauses it and he's like, oh, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
did you know this? And yeah.
I'm like, whew, like, you know,
I needed a break right there.
I'm just like, you know, it just makes you feel like, I don't know, because when, like I said, like the rabbit hole, I remember like once in high school, my friend and I went down the whole like Illuminati rabbit hole, and like all the theories. Oh my god,
my cousin went down there and I had to leave.
It's always at 3 a.m.
Always.
It's always. Oh god.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, I'm a little fucked up.
I can understand that.
I haven't dreamed since then. And that's the other thing. Most of my dreams, although I've had nightmares and I've had like just like random like not like non-nightmare dreams that are just like weird, but like most of my dreams that I can remember as of the last couple years are very like mundane things. Like I'll dream that like you came over and I had a conversation with you, but like it's something that like in real life I really need to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
So then I'll be like, oh, did I tell you this or no? And you're like, yeah, you actually did. I'm like, okay, that was real life. Yeah. And then, or you're like, no, and I'm like, oh, I must have dreamt that I told you, but it's like real shit. It happens with my mom. I'm like, Mom, did I tell you this? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, I must have dreamt that I told you. But anyways, I meant to tell you.
And you just carry
blah,
on.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or like a common dream that I have is that like I get up out of bed because I have to pee, and I walk to my bathroom, I pull down my pants, I sit, and then I start to pee. And as I start to pee, I wake up.
Oh, me too.
I've never pissed the bed, but like, you've had to like feel around sometimes.
Yeah, you're like, hold on. Okay, I'm good.
It feels so real. But like I just like random like day-to-day very mundane things. But they say like every dream has a meaning, and it doesn't mean like it's not a direct translation. Like I know they used to say like if you dream that someone dies, it means that they're gonna have a long life or whatever the fuck, or like if you dream of something bad, it normally means like you're worried about something, or you're worried that you know whatever it is. So it's not like a direct translation, but I'm like, what does it mean if I dream like of like regular things that like I would have done when I was awake? Like I don't know what that means. Even this girl on TikTok that I mentioned, she said that this whole like lucid dreaming, and like she said that, I don't quote me, like she's not like psychic, but she has like you know when like people can kind of connect with people who have crossed over.
Okay.
For instance, she was talking about she always had a very strong connection with her grandfather. And when she was like a kid, like I don't know, 10, 11, her grandfather was very sick and in the hospital, and she had a dream that he came to her and said, if you ever need me, I will always be right here. And then he passed away, and she woke up. And and she ran to her dad's room and said, you know, Papa passed away. And he was like, what are you talking about? And then her mom called the house because she was at the hospital with the grandfather, and she's like, he passed away. And it was the same minute that she woke up.
That's crazy.
So that's what I mean. Like, she's not like psychic, like I predict the future, but she's always had this weird connection. And she said like the house that she's living in now is her grandparents' house. I think her grandmother is still alive, but like she lives in like some sort of like assisted living facility or whatever. So like they her and her fiance live in her grandparents' house, and she said that every now and then she will, what she thinks is waking up, but she quickly realizes that she's lucid dreaming because the house is laid out a little different, and like she's like, no, that's not where that door was, or that there was a room here, now it's just a wall, like, you know what I mean, it's just a little bit different. And she said anytime that happens, she knows she goes down into the basement, and there is a room that in real life does not exist, and her grandfather's always in there. She said that when he was alive, he used to like work on like, you know, like model cars and like, you know, whatever, like he had like a little workshop, so that room is like his workshop, and he's there. And she's just like, she said it doesn't feel scary. I have goosebumps, sorry. Like she said it doesn't feel scary because it's her grandfather. It's like a warm thing, but she knows she's dreaming. Like she doesn't think it's like you know, mediums are like they're awake but but she's like, she knows she's sleeping. So she's like, I don't know if it's my subconscious or if he's really able to visit me in my dreams, but whatever it is, it's nice. And she's like, yeah, he said, and he's like, yeah, I told you I'll always be right here. And it's always that same room that she finds him in when she's dreaming, which is like weird. It doesn't happen every time, but like every now and then. And she's like, it just feels like, you know, they talk and they catch up, and she tells him about her life, and he's just like, yeah, I already know, like, you know, I'm watching over you and stuff. Like it's like a nice thing. She said that recently she was lucid dreaming, and she was in like some sort of like church like building, and some people were like, are you the girl who can like communicate with people in your dreams? Yeah. And she was like, yeah, that's me. And they're like, come with us, like someone wants to talk to you. And she went into a room, and there was just like, she described it almost as like a black hole. Like it was just this black entity, like it was going crazy, and like it was like sucking things in that was like close to it. And she was like trying to talk with it, like, what do you want? What do you need? Like, what do you want with me? But like she wasn't really getting anywhere. And she like slammed her hand down on the table. She was frustrated. She was getting upset. And then when she put her hand down, a hand reached out from the black thing, and it was her grandmother's hand. And she looked up, and she could now see her grandmother. And I mentioned her grandmother is still alive. But her grandmother has dementia. And she said that like her mother and her grandmother also had the gift that she has, but her grandmother has not been able to communicate that or forgets and stuff. And she was saying it almost seemed like that dark cloud was the dementia. But in the dream, her grandmother was able to say, she said, I know I haven't been myself, but I just want you to know I love you. Whenever she said when she woke up, she thought that her grandmother was dying.
Away, of course.
And she didn't. Though she's still alive, but she's saying like maybe because like in her dreams she doesn't have dementia. Yeah, you know, it's only in her conscious mind. So it's like she was able to reach her through her dreams because they both have that weird like astral projection-y kind of thing. And like, oh my god, like literally the goosebumps won't stop. And I'm like, it's like nice stuff, but like that's scary as fuck. Like I've already spoken to my mom about like whichever one of us like passes first. Like I would love to know that like my mom is still around and whatever, but like I laid out strict
not like that
rules. I was like, don't move my shit, make me think it's a ghost, don't visit me when no, seriously, like, we had to have the conversation because I was like, I will not feel like that is like a welcoming thing. And my mom was like, bet, I got you. Like, you know,
it does feel welcoming, and I get what the girl is saying, because
also she's been experiencing it since she was a kid, so I'm sure like it's different for her to not be scared. And then especially if it's like your grandmother, your grandfather,
your mom, you can do it, you know. But
like before she knew it was her grandmother, it was just like this black hole type of thing.
Well, because in her head I can wake up whenever I want, so
I mean, I guess, but like it seems like if it was her grandmother communicating with her, then like she wasn't fully, I don't know, like that's the thing with dreams, like how in control are you? Because if you're truly in control, you should be able to verbalize that you know that you're in a dream.
No,
because that's not full control then.
No, of course, because you're not.
The dream people are gonna turn against you.
That church would have burned down. I was having a dream, and this is the ex that I have no connection with since we broke up. Okay. And this is years later. This is after I was chasing her, and then I stopped, and then she was chasing me, and then you're like, just talk to her, just talk to her. And I was like, okay, fine. So then I spoke with her, and for a while, I stopped dreaming about her. And then the last dream I had was like not years ago, like last year sometime. And she sat me down. No, I was walking and it was raining and I didn't have an umbrella. And all of a sudden, because I never have an umbrella, all of a sudden somebody comes with an umbrella and I look up, there's an umbrella, and I look and it's her. And I'm just like, shit. So we're walking and she's just like, yeah, like, how's your life been going? And I'm telling her about my life. And she's like, yeah.
You know you're dreaming though.
I know I'm dreaming. Okay. But I don't want to leave the dream because it feels so good. Yeah. And I'm just talking to her and she's telling me, yeah, I know about this girl. I don't know why you spoke to this one. You know better than that. And she's just telling me things I know in real life she would tell me. And it's just nice to hear. Mm-hmm. And then I told her that I don't want to see her anymore. And she asked me, why would I say that? And I told her that it's really messing with me in real life. And she's like, this is real life. And then we looked at each other. And then she closed the umbrella and just walked away.
Stop.
I was fucked up after that. Ugh. I was fucked up after that.
Ew, I don't like that.
And I can understand where she's saying it was real life. Because all the dreams I've had about her all connected to one. And even if I mentioned to her in one dream, like, hey, I saw you at the fair and you were following me. Why were you following me?
But you know what? I guess, well, that's what I just read, right? They say in your dream, they either kind of gaslight you and say, no, this is real life, or they flip out. Yeah. So better that than gaslight, she pulled a knife.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, oh my God, that like kind of proved. Because like, you're saying like real life, and like a normal person would be like, what are you talking about? This is real life. Exactly. So like they're just like, he's onto us. Trick him. Yeah.
Walk away. Leave him alone. Yeah.
Wow. The human brain is fucked up. I don't want to, like, you know, when they're just like, oh, I want to like learn more about myself and my brain. Like I totally do, but like
I don't have the same
there's parts. Well, no, like but the thing is, I think like your brain is you. So like I think my subconscious knows that like I am not ready to handle those type of experiences, because like there's a difference between like not wanting it to happen, because like there's been times when you didn't want it to happen and it's happened, but like you can handle it. And I think my subconscious knows I can't handle it, because like I've never even been in a scenario where it's crossed my mind that I'm sleeping until
when you first start, you have to think about it before you go to sleep.
The closest I've come to lucid dreaming is when you have a really good dream, and just as it's getting good, you start to wake up. Yeah. And I've been able to somewhat put myself back. Yeah, I've been able to somewhat put myself back, but it's never the same. No, it feels forced, whereas before it was like natural. Yeah, okay. Because I was in my dream. It's like my brain is like, you're not gonna lucid dream, bitch. Yeah. Like now it's just like I'm just thinking of a story in my head,
and you're making it up as you go along.
I'm not like experiencing it like a dream. Like it's different. Like even if I'm still half asleep, it still feels like I'm like it went from like I'm watching a movie to I'm now writing a script. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, now I want this to happen, but it's not. and it's like it's kind of happening, but
it's like not natural.
It's not. I wouldn't call it dreaming. I feel like I'm imagining.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, does that make sense? Like, I'm not like I'm like daydreaming. Oh, it'd be nice if this happened. Oh, like, but it's not the dream. Like, it's not happening to me anymore. It's like, yeah, that's the closest I've come, and like, it's not close at all. So, I mean, I'm good with that. I mean, it sucks when you're having such a good dream. You're like, oh, I want to go back. Or like, what happens? Good, man. But I'm like, if that's the price I gotta pay, well, cash me out, boo boo, because I don't ever want to experience it.
Nightmares, I don't have nightmares, and I'm very happy about that.
I don't have them often, but like I have them like every now and then.
The last nightmare I had was the one with the cabin. And that was barely a nightmare because I'm like, switch up, we're not doing this today.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's crazy. But yeah, sorry, I had to share. I had to share my little rabbit hole. I'm like, if I'm going down,
we're going down with together.
Me. There you go.
I'm gonna tell you guys a secret, everybody at the same time, including you, Joe.
Oh God, what?
So before we started, I was thinking about a website that when we were, I'm pretty sure you did it too. When we were kids, we would go on. Okay. What website did you used to go on as a kid? Like just for fun? Like
for games?
Not necessarily. Not like a Cartoon Network kind of.
Funnyjunk.com?
Funnyjunk.com.
I think that was it.
I used to go on Neopets.
I never went on that shit.
You never went on that shit?
I've never even heard that.
I literally just made a new account.
What's Neopets?
So you have these little fake imaginary...
Is it like a Tamagotchi?
People who know are definitely laughing at me right now. And that's okay. So you have these little like creatures like you raise as little pets. Okay. But you can also like... You play games. You buy them a house. They live in a community.
Do you remember when Facebook had Petville? And
it's from Neopets.
And I had a dog named Deswayne that I took care of.
I don't like that.
No, seriously. But I took such good care of him.
I don't like that.
He's probably dead now. But
definitely dead.
No, but like, you don't remember?
No.
Yeah.
I remember Petville, but I don't like that. I don't like that.
He's a dog, just like his daddy.
I hate you. But yeah, I just created a new Neopet. For those of you who don't know, it is the stupidest thing ever. But I'm going to enjoy this because I don't do anything else with my life. So
what a loser.
yeah. I just like remember when I was like, ooh, and you're like, what? And I'm like, nothing. Yeah, that's what it was. I just created the Neopet account. I'm very excited to.
So is this something that you are going to maintain, taking care of this Neopet?
Yeah, because I don't have games and stuff on my phone. I only have dominoes. And
like, is it one of those things like a Tamagotchi where like if you don't
feed it starves?
Die? Yeah. I don't think I ever had a Tamagotchi because I feel like our age group, like I knew what it was back then, but like it was like not as like it was like on its way out when we got of like a certain age to like have one. Yeah. And then I remember like I don't know, I probably had like a little bootleg version, but I don't think I really had a Tamagotchi.
I had one.
I don't think I had a Furby either.
Oh, my cousin.
Oh, no. I lied.
Furbies were scary.
I had a Furby, but I'm pretty sure, like, I don't think my mom, like, bought me a Furby. I'm pretty sure it came in, like, a McDonald's Happy Meal or something, you know?
Those aren't the real Furbies, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't...
Yeah, the real ones are pretty big.
Like, I remember mine being, like, that wide and, like, that high.
And that came in McDonald's?
I think so.
No way.
I mean, I don't remember where
that's huge.
Is that big?
That's like a regular Furby. That's
it, like, fit in my hand.
Yeah.
Well, but, like, my hand was much smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like, I remember... What was the movie Gremlins? Because they were like basically Furbies. Yeah. But they weren't called Furbies. But they look like Furbies. But then when you feed them after midnight, they turn into Gremlins. Yeah.
Saturday. That was your Saturday. Saturday, I went on a drive. Not a drive. My son had a basketball tournament.
Okay.
So we go to the tournament. Everything's fine. There's some lady that came up to me and it's like, "Oh, you're not wearing pink today." I don't like to look confused around people that feel like I should know what they're talking about. So I laughed.
Breast cancer?
No. The first time that lady has ever seen me, 4 years ago, I was wearing all pink. And like I had the pink bandana, pink sweater. I had, I think, blue or black jeans. And I had pink and white shoes. And
the first time she ever saw you?
First time.
Has she seen you since?
I don't know.
So who comes up to...
She did. She was like, "Oh, no pink today," and I laughed. And I'm like, "No, I have to wear da 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 da." And she started laughing, and then I walked away.
Oh, you played it off nice.
Yeah, because I didn't fucking know what she was talking about.
So how'd you remember then?
Because when I was peeing, I was thinking about it and clicked. I was like, oh, maybe this is the same lady. So then later on she saw me and she was like, oh, you're a coach now. And I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
So on the way back, driving back from this hour, it's supposed to be an hour.
Sorry, I just have to interject. I appreciate when people like try to make conversation, but like make conversation based off of something relevant.
Thank you.
4 years ago, an outfit that this man wore, you think he's gonna remember that? What? Unless it was like some like outrageous costume where your face was painted pink. Okay, you wore a pink sweater and you like matched. Like who? Sorry, please continue. I had to get it off my chest.
I was wearing gray this time, but I still match. I had the gray and white shoes, the white bandana.
Next time she sees no gray today.
So
4 years from now,
we're on our way back. And it's supposed to be an hour drive. This hour drive turned into a 2.5, 3 hour drive because
where were you guys?
We were in Kensington. Is that what it's called? Kitchener?
Kensington, like market?
No,
like downtown?
No, Kitchener. We're in Kitchener.
Oh,
Kitchener.
I'm like an hour. I'm like, I know Toronto traffic is bad.
No, it was bad. It was like,
Kitchener sounds
But the drive to Kitchener is like really no traffic is an hour 15. That's not that bad. It was like 3 hours to get back. It was like you hit a little bit of traffic. Okay, now you're clear.
Also, different parts of the highway have been reduced to like one lane because I think they're expanding it.
Yeah.
Which I mean is great, but like in order to expand, you have to reduce.
10 years from now. So as we're driving, me, my son, and his mom were talking, and we're talking about people. And I realized as much as I hate people, I hate them even more. Because we're driving in this traffic, right? This traffic was caused because people want to exit the highway at a specific spot.
Okay.
For some reason, everybody's getting off here. However, the people not getting off have to suffer because these assholes who don't want to wait to get off want to come into other people's lane and block up that lane to kind of squeeze their way in, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as I get to the front, because I'm like, okay, traffic, nothing can be done. When I get to the front of this traffic,
and
I'm seeing that it's all because everyone wants to get off here. I'm like, wait your fucking turn. How about that? How about that? Instead of fucking up everybody else. Now, as I'm driving, I realize people aren't the problem. I'm the problem. The reason why I'm the problem is there's certain things in my life that I've changed over the past year or so. And I feel like my brain is still adjusting to being a new person. And the reason why I feel like that is because I don't really, like before I was very social, call it that. Okay. So whether I like it or not, my brain, my body's used to being social, whether I wanted to or not. So now that I'm choosing like, okay, I don't want to be social. I don't do anything except for stay in my room and come here. Everything else is like a chore. Does that make sense? Like,
oh, this doesn't feel like a chore?
No, it doesn't. No, not at all.
Nice.
Going to the grocery store, I'm like, okay, what do we need? We need this. Actually, we need more than that. But let's just pick up these 5 things.
I don't even go to the grocery store anymore.
You like everything just and it's not because of COVID. Of a chore
it is. Yeah.
It's not because of COVID for me. It's just because just being around people makes me.
I think it's partially laziness too, and I say that as someone who doesn't go to the grocery store hardly ever now. I think it's just like when you enjoy being by yourself, you're like, I could, but like if I don't have to, I like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to order your groceries like me, but like...
I did one time and it felt so weird. It felt so weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, it feels weird for me now to, like... I'll go to the grocery store, but to do a full grocery run and do the whole, like, I'm going to put as many bags on my arm as possible... No, I'm not doing that. But, like, for me, it was, like, a every now and then thing. Mm-hmm. And then after I broke my ankle, I had to. Like, I had no other choice. Yeah. And then, like, it just became my normal routine. So now I'm like, oh, we need groceries, but like I don't order just like one or two. Like I wait till I, have to get a few things, and then but like it it will feel normal.
Even a couple of weeks ago, my mom was having Thanksgiving dinner, and she's like, yeah, I invite whoever, I know you're probably going to invite 20, 30 people. And I'm like, do I even know 20, 30 people really? And I'm thinking about it, and I got to 10, and I was like, the 10 is also family. So I'm like, Des. So as I'm in the car driving and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, fuck. Okay. Is this for the better now, or is it am I becoming too much?
Are you withdrawing too much?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I guess it depends on who you ask, right? I have a certain group of people, or a few different groups, but for me, it's a group of people who I feel very close to, but then there's groups outside of that. It's obviously more than 30 people, but would you?
I don't have groups though.
No. Oh. When I say groups, I don't even mean necessarily a friend group. I just mean in your head, you can think of your 10, that's your group. I mean of people who are close to you, who you could invite to something. That's what I mean when I say a group. It doesn't actually have to be.
That's okay. Group. That's what I mean. The 10 that I could invite, in my brain, I don't speak to you. I don't even send you memes anymore. I don't even open snaps. How you can see everyone. I don't open nobody's snap really. I'd rather open somebody's snap I haven't talked to in 10 years than open your snap that I haven't talked to in 3 months. And it's starting to feel like I'm isolating myself, and I don't know if it's for better or for worse. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this with Joe and the podcast.
I personally think it's about having balance, right? If these are people who are important to you, you don't need to invite them out all the time. You don't need to keep up with them or talk to them all the time, but you should make an effort to reach out. How are you doing?
See, that sounds
but that's the thing. So then maybe you don't value them as much as you thought you did, which is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you dislike them, but it's maybe you're not as high up on my priority list as I thought you were. If they are, it would not feel here's the thing. You can me, I'm the queen of intending to get back to someone and forgetting.
Oh, I love that.
But that's not because whoever I'm trying to get back to is not important to me. It's just that that's just how my brain works. You know what I mean? But the fact that I'm I want to get back to you. I intend to get back to you because you're important enough to me that I if I got busy and whatever, I want to actually get back to you. And then there's the people who you're just if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. There's different tiers, right? And then there's the people you don't even open their messages because why? Why would I?
Other than you and family, I have 3 friends that I will answer, I will talk to, and I will get back to reasonably. And
that, I feel that's normal, honestly.
Is it?
Yes. I think especially the older you get, and I'm not saying you're older, I'm older, anything, but I feel with age, it's easy to have a million people around you and a million friends when you're in school, whether that is high school, university, college, whatever, and right after, because you're so used to seeing all these people all the time, you feel your group is bigger, but then life happens, and the same way you have shit, you have 2 kids, you have your priorities, people have their own shit going on, and it's not there's any beef. There's no issues. It's just hey, if I see Des, cool. If not, people with certain people.
Most of the ones who I'm supposed to be close with, they have tried to reach out and be hey, Des, long time no talk. I'm just checking. Is everything okay? And I just don't reply.
And it's on you.
My new number, nobody has it.
I know.
Somebody at my mom's that came to the Thanksgiving thing, I told them literally the night before because I felt kind of bad. And I didn't message, I messaged them on Instagram or something. And when they came, they were talking and they were just oh my God, Des, how am I supposed to get a hold of you? I'm email me. And they're why don't you have a phone? I'm I have a phone, but just email. I don't have a number, so just email me. And certain people kind of looked at me and they just kind of went with it. Because they nobody has this number, and I'm glad nobody has this number. And the reason why I started,
you know how I know that you are happy that not many people have this number? Because for the first time in like years, you have your red receipts on.
I realize I'm not hiding from nobody no more. I can read your message. Yeah.
Because you know, if I send you a message and you read it, like I'm not gonna be like Deswayne. And like the people who have this number are also not gonna make a big deal. So you're like, oh shit, I don't have to hide anymore.
Yeah,
I can step from out of the shadows.
Exactly. The reason why I started to like back away from everyone is somebody who I felt I was kind of close with made a comment one time, and I didn't like it. And
Spill.
No, I'm going to. Okay. They made a comment one time, and I didn't like it. And then something also happened around that same time with another friend, and it made me look at everything so differently. So, me and this girl are talking, and we're really good friends. We're just friends. And she asked me a question. She's like, oh, did you tell so-and-so, da-da-da? And I'm like, no. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, you just asked me. And I said, no, why do you have to ask me if I'm sure? Oh, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, anything I tell you, you go back and tell somebody else. And I'm like, pardon me? And she's like, yeah, I just feel like, you know, you can't keep a secret. No problem. So in my brain, that is who you view me as. Keep that view. Don't tell me nothing ever again. And that's what I told her. I said, okay, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way. I didn't say anything, but don't ever tell me nothing ever again. Oh, no. It's okay. I get it. It's fine. You don't have to tell me nothing. So I already withdrew myself mentally from that. So after that happened, I'm like, okay, if you feel that way, other people could feel that way. But I can't put how you feel on other people.
Can't project, yeah.
Exactly. So I just kind of allowed it. But me withdrawing myself from her made me withdraw myself from people who know her. Because anything that has to do with her, I don't want to know. But she's the one who has the most drama to her. I don't want to know. Don't tell me, and I don't care. But when you tell somebody, you know, somebody wants to tell you something, and you're like, yo, don't tell me, I don't want to know. They take that as like...
personally.
Exactly. Okay, so I can't talk to you.
They take offense, yeah.
That's not my problem. Tell somebody else. I might tell somebody. And that's what I kept saying. Now, around that same time...
You said that. I might tell somebody.
I feel no ways. Because if that's how people feel, that's how you feel. So, another friend of mine, they were like, oh my God. Okay, fuck it. So this girl was like, Des, did you tell anybody that we slept together? And I'm like, did we sleep together? And she's like, no. I'm like, so what are you asking me? Oh, I'm just asking. Okay, but I don't understand what you're asking me. Okay, well, I heard something and it all ties back to you. Okay. And I didn't ask no questions because I don't really give a fuck. So she's going on and just like, oh, well, you know, somebody said something and they said that, you know, the person who told them heard from you that. Okay. You have nothing to say? What do I have to say? That none of that has anything to do with me. So, okay. So the group of people that could have came from, we have a group chat. So I went in the group chat and I was like, whoever said whatever they said to whoever they said it to.
Your mom's a bitch.
That's funny.
I literally thought that's where you were going with that.
I think I just put like shake my head or something like that. And then
you let them off easy.
I did. I
just said your mom's a hoe.
So out of that, let's say there's 8 people in that group. Out of that group, there's 3 or 4 people that if it was them, I would be hurt. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. So one of them, I know it's definitely not him. The other one, I know it's definitely not him. The third one, it's a little bit shaky, but probably not. And the fourth one, I hope it's not. So the 2 that I know for sure it's not, I'm telling them the full tea. So they're like, oh, maybe it's this. They're trying to break it down. I'm like, at the end of the day, as long as it's not you 4, I don't give a fuck. Everybody reached back to me privately and was like, oh, what's going on? I didn't really tell them the full tea of what's going on, but I gave them bits and pieces. The one that I hope it's not didn't message me whatsoever.
Gave himself away.
And I was like, no, Jesus, please don't tell me it's him. No. However, I know he's very close with said girl. And I'm like, fuck. So as the days, maybe this is like day 3 now, and this is ongoing. Like every day I'm getting calls from these guys or from her like, okay, so are you going to tell me now what you said? Like, I didn't say shit. Are you going to tell me who told you? If you're not going to tell me, then this conversation is pointless. So the third day, you know, me and her best friend are on the phone, and she was just like, you know what, you know who the person is. You don't talk to them, but they're close with somebody in your friend group. Okay, that's not telling me nothing, blah, blah. As I'm saying that's not telling me nothing, my brain is running through names, obviously. I'm like, you know what, whatever, forget it. So she's just like, okay, well, you know, I'm not comfortable with this because if you did say this and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I don't care. So I get off the phone with her and I call one of the four that I don't care if it's them. So I call one of them and I'm like, can I ask you a question? And he's like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, by any chance, could it be your friend XYZ who told her XYZ? And he was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you. My bad, Des, my bad. Nope. We're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Now I know. That's it. So from I heard that, I was like, all right, Des, you obviously have to withdraw yourself from more people now, because all of that was unnecessary and didn't need to happen. Because the conversation was, you know how guys talk like, oh yeah, would you ever sleep with da 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 da? It was one of those. But she got offended by that comment, which is fair. You can be offended by it. You don't want your friends to talk about you when you're not there. But it
still got misconstrued and twisted.
No
into something
fucking
more than
problem.
Because would you and have you
are two different things. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm telling her. And she's just like, oh, do you know how many times you've been to my house where, like, you know, I'll come out in a towel? I'm like, okay, but you have to understand, like, at the end of the day, you are a very attractive female. I have never made a move on you for you to feel uncomfortable. So,
woman.
Thank you, woman.
I got you.
So us guys talking, would you? Of course. You can ask a stranger. You can ask somebody you've known for your whole life. Would you? Would you?
Your stepbrother.
And are you going to? Are two different things.
Yeah.
So anyways, whatever. That pissed me off in a whole different category.
I love how you glazed over it. Wonderful. No, keep going.
So then I'm talking to the guy. I hope it's not. Mm-hmm. So I call him and I'm like, yo, I have to talk to you. And he's like, what's up? So I'm telling him all the sequence of events that just happened. I said, I need to apologize to you because I had a thought and I'm not okay having this thought about somebody I shouldn't have this thought about. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, because you did not reach out to me and ask any questions, I really felt like it was you. And it really hurt me if it was you. So the fact that I even thought you would do something like this, I don't feel comfortable having that thought about you. So I need to apologize just for the mere thought of thinking it was you. Even though you didn't know, I need to apologize for that. And he starts laughing. He's like, nah, I get it. You know, I can understand where he's like, honestly, the only reason why I didn't reach out is because I knew it wasn't me. And I don't want to get involved in any of this because I've been in this situation before. And I'm like, no, that makes perfect sense. But that's why I thought it was you.
See, but that seems like I get it because, okay, literally a few days ago, I was on TikTok and and there's this, like, I don't know who this YouTuber was, but it's a video. This girl is showing like a clip from a live, and I guess this YouTuber and like her friends are doing prank calls. So they're just like, oh, you know, like to viewers, like send us like someone's name and number and like give us a couple things about them and like we'll prank call them. And this girl sends in some information, but the YouTuber, I don't remember her name. She was like, she called the girl and she was like, honestly, I was supposed to call and prank call you, but I'm calling to tell you that someone who's a friend of yours is trying to expose you and say like nasty things. And like, I got this message and I just wanted to tell you because I don't think it's right.
It's
like
not.
It goes like I was supposed to do like a friendly
It's past a joke now.
Mm-hmm. So apparently I don't know this YouTuber, but I guess in this community, like a lot of her friends were watching the live because she got a lot of messages because this girl wasn't watching the live.
Okay.
She got a lot of messages because a lot of people were like, oh, is that your voice on the phone? And she didn't even say that much. Like, that sounds like you, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they sent her the live and whatever. And then when her, like, I guess she was like upset by it, she posted some stuff on her story. And like, obviously lots of people were responding, oh my God, that's horrible, blah, blah, blah. Her best friend of over 20 years watching it as soon as it goes up, not saying anything. And like, this is her, like, over 20 years. Yeah. They've been friends.
You're going to say something.
You're not going to be like, what happened? Oh my God. Whose ass do we have to beat? Nothing. Yeah. And it eventually came out that it was this girl, but it's like that was like a dead giveaway because it was, you know, acting guilty. So that's what ran through my head when you were like, oh, this guy didn't say anything.
When he didn't say, because I'm used to him being like, yo, Des, what's going on? And when he didn't, everybody was like, yo, Des, it might be him still. And I'm like, yo, don't say that. Like, I was still trying to fend for him, even though my brain was like, how much more fending can you do?
Entertaining the thought, but you didn't want it to be
I'm like, nah, man. He couldn't. He couldn't and he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Nah. So I didn't talk to him. I'm like, I can't talk to him until I know for sure if it is or not.
Yeah.
So when I found out it was not and it was clear that it wasn't, I was just like, okay,
let me even like
thinking it. Because if anybody thought that about me, I need to know. That's what you think about me? That's fucking crazy.
I get what you're saying. You could have easily just like brushed it off
because he doesn't know. But, exactly. And
I think that shows how you value him, though. The fact that you would even want to apologize for your own inner
Of course, because that's what I would want somebody to do.
Yeah.
So, especially because whatever just happened with the girl and the, pretty much like I don't trust to tell you anything. Oh, fuck. No problem.
Yeah.
So, since those two incidents happened last year around the same time, and then there was this girl that I thought I trusted, but then some shit happened, and I was just like, I don't know anybody and I can't trust anybody. So let me just back up a lot. Yeah. So I feel like now that I've backed up a lot, I've also backed up from people who really didn't do anything. And it's really no problem. Like there's obviously people come to me with their little issues and, you know, suggestions. What should I do with life? And when people make the same mistake over and over and over and over again, you kind of get annoyed when you're the one hearing it.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, all right, stop fucking telling me. And I kind of withdrew myself from that. But then I'm like, that's kind of not fair because as somebody who's your friend and true friend, you should be there for me. Like, yeah, I might keep fucking up, but that's life, right? So
no, you don't have to continuously be there for someone when they're making the same mistake. Sometimes as a friend, you need to show them like, hey, like I'm not going to be here to entertain your foolishness. But as far as like you falling back.
No, not falling back.
Falling
gone.
off.
Gone.
I think that I don't think it's a bad thing to be more withdrawn, a little more selective with who you spend your time with and whatever. But I do think that like if they are making an effort and they're people that you value, you can reciprocate the effort sometimes, or you can reach out, be like, hey, you good? You crossed my mind, just want to make sure. I'm just saying.
Every time you say it, my brain is just like, ooh, let's just not care.
Are these people that like you would be sad if you never spoke to them again?
I would want to know how they're doing.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
but it's the thought of asking though.
I'm not saying to reach out and like make plans to hang out, but like just the like reaching out means a lot, you know, because especially in life, like you said, when you get older, it is harder to maintain friendships, good friendships. So if you make that little effort, it'll go a long way. Stop pouting. You are
like, I know what you're saying is not wrong. It's just a thought of reaching out that I'm just like, like I'd rather reach out to somebody who like I really shouldn't be speaking to at all because they blocked and deleted me for no reason.
Because the old Des still loves the drama.
And like the other day, like my girlfriend told me she's a little bit worried. She feels like I'm in my dark because my room is really dark and I don't like to turn on the lights.
Your room?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I don't like to turn on the lights because I'm in the basement. Yeah, my cave. I don't like to turn on the lights. I don't really go upstairs. I used to be in the living room all the time, just sitting there watching TV. I don't go in the living room. If I go to the kitchen, it's to grab what I'm grabbing and right back to my room. I'll stay in the living room sometimes with my son and talk and play games with him. But for the most part, like I just stay in my room. So she's like, Des, are you okay? Like, I feel like you're going through depression or something. And when she was saying it, I was like, what? No, I'm fine. I was like, depression just doesn't mean like, oh, I'm depressed, you know? Mm-hmm. There's different aspects, different...
Withdrawing from people
exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's what it got me thinking on my drive. Because normally in traffic, I don't care. Like, traffic is traffic. There's nothing I can do about it. Mm-hmm. So I don't like to care about things I can't do. But when I was in traffic and I felt my inner self getting upset, and I was just like, I could just be in my room right now and none of this would have happened. I was like... Being
easily irritable is also...
I know. Yeah. So...
Are you depressed?
I don't know. I need a therapist.
Oh, I can refer you. I've seen a couple in my lifetime.
Yeah, I might be depressed.
Well... are you depressed enough that you will not be able to answer a listener question?
No, I'll always be able to answer listener questions.
Wonderful. Well, on that note, I think it's time we get into listener question. So if you're listening and you have a question, a story, anything that you want to share with us, we would love to hear from you. And you can do so by going to thissquareroom.com. Today we have a message from Alex. And Alex says, hi to you both. I'm wondering if you have any advice for someone in a toxic family situation. I'm 17 and I live with my mom and stepdad. It's a super toxic situation, but I know that when I turn 18, I won't be able to afford to move out. Any advice on how to navigate? Also, because my home life is fucked up, it's tough dating and trying to bring girls home. Any advice for that too? Love the pod, by the way.
Fuck Alex. That is.
And Alex's pronouns are he and him.
Thank you. Not for I was
Alex could be a girl too.
No, I was gonna say thank you for saying you love the pod. That's why I was saying.
Oh no, I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
So you can proceed accordingly.
Yeah, that is very tough. Oh, see, you're 17, so you're in like grade 11, 12. Truthfully, I don't know where you're from, but depending on where you're from, depends on what you can do, what you're willing to do. I should say that, not can. The reason why I say that is I don't know the extent of the toxicity. Oh, thank God. I thought I made that up for a second. Yeah. I don't know we don't know the extent of it. Only you do. So, of course, given certain situations, we could give you different advice. Because sometimes something that seems toxic and feels toxic has very simple solutions. Like, maybe if the stepdad is the toxic one, sometimes an uncomfortable conversation with your biological parent can make a change. Because as parents, sometimes we, and I say we because I'm a parent, we put ourselves through certain things thinking that it's better for our child. And I only know that because I've talked to some parents, and like even now I'm talking to my grandma about, why she did certain things she did when she was younger. And, we're just talking about life. And when you have a child, you feel like your decisions are based and benefiting the child, whether it's beating the child, whether it's like, even sometimes you feel like you're neglecting the child to make the step parent happy. Okay, let me focus more on, for your case, let's say, your stepdad, your mom focuses more on your stepdad, but your stepdad is the one abusing you. But your mom feels like if I make him happy, he won't abuse you as much. Like, each situation is very different. Growing up, I always felt like my stepdad was very toxic and very like his way or no way kind of thing. Whereas my mom was kind of like more lenient and more understanding about certain things. I felt like there's times my mom could have stood up for me and she stayed quiet, which kind of made me resent her a bit. Not enough to be like, I hate you, but just certain situations I wish she did certain things differently. And after I had my son, I realized, like, I had my son when I was 15. And I think when I was around 16, 17, I had a conversation with my brain. And I realized what my stepdad was trying to do wasn't necessarily harm me. He just didn't know any better himself. And he's raising somebody who's not his child. And I'm doing things that he wouldn't like. Whereas, I'm probably doing things that in my DNA are because of my dad. And whatever the case is, and my stepdad didn't like it. So he didn't know how to respond and have a conversation because that's not how he grew up. He learned, spare the rod, spoil the child kind of thing. So if I beat you, you'll understand better. Whereas
it's kind of like what we spoke about in last week's episode, account for accountability.
Yes.
And like parenting and how like they may not always do the right thing, but sometimes it is, I think more often than not, they're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not it comes across that way, that is,
Yeah. And like same thing you said, like bringing people home, like I loved for people to meet my mom because my mom was very friendly. But the second it was to meet my stepdad, I was kind of like, Yeah, this is my friend so and so. Your friend? Just your friend? Oh my God. But yeah, so it all depends on the situation. Right now, being 17 and depending on, you said you don't have, moving out is not always the best option. We feel like it's easier to run away from something than it is to actually face it head on. Like I said, if you can have a conversation with one of them, maybe, your biological parent is the toxic one and the other one is trying to help. I don't know. Maybe you have aunts or uncles you can talk to who can kind of help. But being a certain age, like you're 17, to some people, you're still a child. However, 17 years of living is a long time, regardless of how anybody feels. You have been awake for 17 years, realistically. So as young as people might say you are and you don't know anything, they're not wrong. But at the end of the day, you only know what you know because of your age. So with that, you almost have to kind of figure out how you want your life to go in a sense. I ran away from home plenty of times. I always returned because I don't know why I ran, but
where are you gonna go?
I ran. I've slept at my
no, like a long term. Like
yeah. That's never the thought in my brain when I ran away. I just needed to get away for the moment. I didn't care how long I felt like that moment was. There was a time that I just needed to get away for the night. And I just ended up at a friend's doorstep. I don't even know why my brain told me to go there because they don't know anything about my home situation. I just remember I was crying and I stood in front of the door at 2 a.m. Their mom opened the door and was like, "Are you okay?" And I didn't say a word. I was just crying. And she let me in. She let me sleep on the couch. They made breakfast. My friend and her sibling didn't say anything. Like when it was just like, "Oh, Des is here, okay, cool." They didn't ask me what happened. They didn't ask anything like that. And then the mom was just like, "I called your parents. I told them that you're here just so they know you're safe. When you're ready, you can head back home." And sometimes you just need a little break. So you're almost finished high school, and once you finish high school, it's your life, and you can determine how and where you want it to go. Not necessarily right now because of your age.
Well, what I was going to say on that is, as far as I do agree with Des in terms of like possibly discussing things with your parent or parents, because we don't know what the toxic situation is. It could be both of them. They could be, I've heard there's so many situations where like parents are on drugs, parents are abusive, parents are, it could be one, it could be the other,
it could be both,
right? And like if you really feel like you need to remove yourself from the situation, because that is the case sometimes. You've made it very clear. The cost of living is just very expensive everywhere, let alone for an 18-year-old. Yeah. So it's just like, it makes sense why you wouldn't be able to move it on your own. If you plan on living in, your same city and state, like maybe see if there's other friends who want to move in and like you get a roommate situation, a house with 3-4 other people.
Yeah.
You can each have your own room and then split the rent, and like that makes it a lot easier. Also something that you can look into, I don't know what stage you're at in terms of post-secondary education, but going away for college on like scholarships and stuff where you can live on campus gives you a huge break from living at home. I know a lot of people that sometimes, even in a toxic situation, when you only come back for Christmas and summer, it's not as bad because you're not there the whole time. So that could be an option. And that's something that if you can get a scholarship, and it doesn't just have to be an academic scholarship, there's so many different scholarships, different clubs, different grants that you can get. There's, athletic scholarship, like there's different methods of acquiring funding for school. So I would say look into that as well. But I think you need to figure out, and like we can't answer this, and it's a little hard for us to give advice because we don't know exactly what the issue is, but I think that if you narrow down the main points of like what is wrong with your living situation, so like the example Des gave before, maybe it's the step parent, then you like, if that is like the number one thing or one of the three main issues. It's a step parent, maybe privacy, and like boundaries, right? Yeah. Let's say those are the three main issues. You go to your other parent, you don't necessarily attack, because I think especially like Des said, sometimes like a mother can be very defensive of her husband or and also her children, but in this case we're talking about your stepdad. So it's like, go to your mother, let her know that you are feeling like your boundaries are being crossed and not respected, and come to some sort of like understanding, like, okay, maybe if you live in a house with a basement, like, I can put my room in the basement, and that's my space, that's my area, I'll keep it clean, I'll do what I have to do, you guys don't have to worry, but like, I get my own space, you guys get your own space, we're still here together, I don't know, it's like, figure out what could work if you have to stay in that scenario, because of course nobody wants to stay in a situation where it's toxic. Yeah. And things, could potentially escalate. That's not good for anyone. So if there's any sort of leeway, even if it's not, having a section of the house, I don't know what your issue is. It could even be like, let me use something like very generic. I don't know, like someone keeps eating your food in the fridge, like, okay, maybe the solution is you get a mini fridge for your bedroom. Like, that's obvious. I doubt that's your issue, but yeah. Like, that's just like, what I'm saying is, whatever the issue is, see what a reasonable workaround is that won't necessarily offend other people, but also helps you to reduce the tension and toxicity that is happening in your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any friends, parents that you trust that you can talk to, that's an option. I know, like, I never wanted people to look at my parents bad, but that was just me. Like, I don't know why I cared about that part of it, but...
No, because you love them and you don't want to ever paint someone that you love in a bad light.
Yes, I did love my mom. You're right.
Do.
Yeah. So, like, it's all about what you want to do at the end of the day. Like, it's your life. There's, like Joe said, like, there's a lot of scholarships and grants and stuff out there that... all you would have to do is, okay, you know what? Let me really tie down in this last year of school, get the best grades I can get, and you look into a scholarship, and now, oh, look, now you have a scholarship for this, and they are willing to do this, this, and this for you. No problem. Sometimes they cover housing. Sometimes they can even, you let them know your situation, like, oh, yes, I would love to come to this school, blah, blah. They even can help you find a job so that when you get there, you already have a job and everything's kind of already set up for you, basic, what you need.
And sometimes even if you don't plan on going to school, like university or college after high school, I think sometimes working plus getting a hobby that brings you joy are two wonderful excuses for you to be out of the house.
Yeah.
I think getting a decent job where you can save your money, or at least save a majority of your money so that you can move out. One, it gets you money and it gets you out of the house. And then those other times when you're off, if you have a hobby that you love, it's not going to feel like, like Des was talking about, it's almost like a chore to leave his house. But if it's something that you love doing, it's not going to feel like a chore. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'm not working. This is my day off. I get to do blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't wait to leave the house and go do this and join, this club or do this with people. And that's another way you can connect with people, potentially meet like-minded people who might be looking for roommates. Just don't get like roommates off of like Craigslist and shit.
And this goes to everybody else who's listening. There's nothing wrong with assisted living, government housing stuff.
Not at all.
However, if that's the situation you're in for now, that's fine, but you would need to find how to get yourself out of that. Don't just settle to be there just because, if that 100%. Makes sense. So if you're gonna choose to leave your house and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go into government housing, assisted living, no, there's no shame in that whatsoever. However, make it a note to yourself and make it a priority to not stay there for an extended amount of time just because it's the easier thing to do. Exactly.
Yeah. Also, again, I don't know the extent of the toxicity in your household. I respect your decision not to let us know. But if it is a dangerous situation for you or anyone else in your household, if things come down to it, don't be afraid to call the police.
Oh, for sure.
I know some people hesitate because you're like, I don't want to get people in trouble. Like Des said, sometimes you don't want to say bad things about the people that you love. But like, if it could save someone's life, save your life, don't be afraid. Sometimes doing the right thing is very hard.
It is.
Obviously, I don't think it's right to just be running to call the police just because someone upset you or someone raised their voice at you. Yeah. But if there are certain boundaries being crossed, most definitely, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and for what is right.
Yeah.
I hope that helps, Alex. It was Alex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not looking at the email.
No, it's Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you very much for writing in. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad you enjoyed the podcast. If anyone else wants to write in with any questions, stories, if you want our advice, we're not experts, but we love to give it. It's thissquareroom.com.
Wow, I feel like the first half was very deep. Your rabbit hole, my depression, Alex. Yeah.
Yikes. All right. Give us something to...
Okay. Trolls. Not the little people. Are they people? Are they considered people?
They're literally trolls.
But are they considered people?
No, they're trolls.
What makes them not people?
Like, are we talking about like the trolls, like with the hair and the jewels in their belly buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are trolls. Like a troll that lives under a bridge.
But they breathe. They eat real food.
How do you know what trolls eat?
Dora. She used to always give him some stuff sometimes.
Oh my God. You're using Dora the Explorer as your research?
But I'm talking about internet trolls.
Yes, those ones are human, unfortunately.
I feel
for the most part, I think.
I feel like internet trolls have changed over the years.
They adapt with technology.
Yes. And not in a good way. Now, for those of you who might remember, original Call of Duty, COD 2 kind of thing, being a troll online was funny. Ha ha, he he. You say things, but this might be personal. I feel like everybody who was online on these certain games and stuff can handle what comes with the game. So if we're playing COD and it used to tell you who killed you, and you can hear them for a split second. Okay. Go fuck yourself! That was funny. Was
really?
Yeah, they used to let you hear the bird if they had a mic.
Oh.
As soon as I kill you,
I
can hear you for 5 seconds.
Oh,
yeah,
5.
It was something quick.
5 is a long time,
but it was enough to know that you're laughing.
Enough shit in 5 seconds.
Yeah. So I feel like back then, trolls, you have your clan and stuff, people you play with all the time. And me and my friends from elementary school, we're in high school and we'd play. And when you're in the lobby with everybody and you're upset, it wasn't too personal in the sense that somebody's scared.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You should sell your PlayStation, break the game, and fucking never show your face ever again. Mm-hmm. People weren't so sensitive, but I feel like now it's taken to a whole different level. And
the trolling or the trollees?
The trolling.
Okay.
The trolling. Now it's go fucking kill yourself, XYZ, blah, blah. Whoa.
Yeah, and people are doxing and shit.
Yeah. So for me, to a certain extent, trolling is fine. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. However, nowadays, even on something as simple as fucking Fortnite, a little cartoon game, why are you guys so angry?
Did you hear that? What game? This was weeks ago, but they were talking about the fact that teabagging is seen
Fortnite.
as was it? I don't.
I've seen them do it. All they do is over the dead body, they just keep bending down. And
no. I know what teabagging is in a game. I'm saying they saw that as hate, attack.
To me, that's crazy.
And I was teabagging.
That's what I mean. Now everybody's so sensitive to everything. And one of my friends made a comment when I was talking to him about it, and he was like, when we used to buy these games, you know what you're signing up for. But now that, everybody wants to play everything and blah, 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 now it's like, oh, this guy made fun of me on this game. Yeah, that's what they do on there.
So I'm asking, do you think that people are becoming too sensitive or trolls are taking it too far? Or is it both?
Both. Because
if trolls are taking it too far, doesn't it make sense that people are more sensitive?
No, people are more sensitive. So trolls are taking it even further. Because when you're online and I'm killing you or whatever, and the more upset you get, the more I love it.
That's what trolls eat. That's how you feed the trolls.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So because you're so sensitive,
they eat real food. They eat feelings.
Because you're so sensitive, it's gonna make me do more. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. It's never like, okay, the troll said this, and I went back and fucked him up. No, I went to go cry about it to my mom. My mom went to go report the game, and like it's just nonsense.
What was that?
I don't know. I told you. Was
that supposed to be African?
No, it's no accent. It was just my voice in a different tone.
No. I'm actually asking if you were trying to do an African accent.
I wasn't doing any accent.
Okay, bobblehead Billy.
There was what's his name? Alvin?
And the Chipmunks?
No. Alvin Karma. He's a football player, right? And he, in one of his DM, somebody messaged him and said, "Good game, N-word."
Okay.
Now, he replied.
But the person didn't say N-word. They said the word.
They said the N-word.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I was wondering, like, you were acting like me. Like, I don't say the word. So.
Oh, I didn't want to say it because I don't want nobody to get too offended. There's just certain words.
A black man said the N-word on the internet.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're black. You could say it.
Apparently not. Nobody should be able to say it.
Des doesn't want to get canceled for saying the N-word.
So somebody DM'd him, not a black person.
He said it off screen, y'all.
Oh, I say it all the time off screen.
Well, I'm not joking, but
yeah. Okay.
No, obviously. They know you say it. I'm pretty sure you've said it on the pod. Yeah.
I have. And somebody DM'd him and said, "Good game, N-word." Mm-hmm. And he was just like, do you think that's okay to say, kind of thing.
What was the ethnicity of this person?
White.
Why'd you start it with like a S sound? You're like, white.
I was trying to remember how Stewie said whipped cream.
Whip.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
White. Not white.
I was trying to remember and I couldn't.
Stupid.
And he messaged the kid like, what if because I guess the kid played football as well. He went on the kid's page and saw that. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh, what if I told your coach?" And he was like, "Oh no, I was just joking. Da, 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 da." You were just joking. My nigga, you were just joking.
What did you just say?
And he was just like, okay.
Wait, did the kid use a hard R or A?
A.
But yeah. he was.
Thank you. Yeah. So the Alvin football player guy ended up screenshotting their whole conversation and posting it on the internet.
So he didn't send it to the coach, but he sent it to the coach. He
sent
it to the world.
Exactly. So then he messaged him and he's like, "Oh, come on, man. I was just playing. Now I'm getting a whole bunch of hate messages in my inbox." Oh, you're getting hate messages. The N-word, my nigga, is a hate crime, my nigga. So now you know where we're at. Yeah.
You went full like ghetto best friend, like with the head rolling, the finger pointing,
down, side.
Like, you did the most.
Yeah, and like I was reading that, and then like that's when I was thinking about like the whole internet and trolls thing, and I'm like, why would you think it would be okay to DM this guy that? Like, I'm trying to find where it would be funny.
Are you not embarrassed?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't comprehend.
I don't understand.
Like, that's like me messaging like a tennis player or a golf player and be like, "Man, that was a great game, cracker."
First of all,
where would that be appropriate?
First of all, golf and tennis, they're black people and other ethnicities. Hello, Tiger Woods. Hello,
that whore.
Venus and Serena.
Yeah, but there's other white people in football, so I guess same thing.
But you didn't say a white tennis or golf.
Oh, I didn't?
No, you just said it. Oh. Yeah, that's what I was like, you got...
yeah. They would be white.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever, like, you don't troll? Never?
What do you mean?
Like, I know, like, if it's me and, like, if it's a friend, you talk shit. I know that. You're very much a shit talker, especially when you're winning.
First of all, whoa.
No, I'm not saying I'm not. I'm a huge shit talker. I'm a sore loser.
Whoa.
I just want to know if you've ever trolled.
If on a scale of 1 to Deswayne, I am a 6 on my worst day. Like, just to, like, I just want it to be clear. Like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, you're talking shit. But, like, for the most part, I'm a graceful winner. But, like, you know, with certain people, you have to talk a little shit. You are a graceful winner. You have to talk a little shit with certain people. But, like, Des is one of those people, like, it's eat or be eaten, you know? It's like talk shit or don't play or go home crying, because you will talk shit regardless. So I just needed to make it clear.
I am horrible. I let people know.
Yeah, but have I ever like trolled
like random, like a random person? Never.
Search my history. No, seriously, like I don't think I've ever left like a negative like comment. I think the most like negative things I've said online about people is like when I'm like tweeting about Big Brother and I'm like, oh my God, this person is so annoying. Like, why would they make that game move? You're such a loser. No, seriously, but I've never like, but that's it. And sometimes I feel bad about that because I'm like, okay, like they're just a human playing the game, but it's also like, yeah, I don't like the way they played. Like but that's the extent of it. Like even with certain videos, I don't like dislike things.
Yeah, I won't dislike.
I'm just
things.
like I'm just not gonna watch it. Like I'm not
simple. I won't click the like or the dislike.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, that I do. But if I'm playing a game and I hear like if you're not saying shit, fine.
Well, I don't play like games online and stuff, so I've never gotten that opportunity. But like if it's a friend, yeah, for sure I'll talk shit because like they understand that like we're all just playing around. Like and I'm also not gonna talk shit to someone. To a friend that's like not doing it back, because then I feel like that's just being an asshole. My like Des is like, I'm gonna talk shit to you whether you talk shit back. You know what I mean? Like if the person's being like, oh, good game, you're like,
fuck you. Good game, this dick.
Yeah, see, that's mean. No, especially if your friend is not like that,
and you're just
no, but you're mean.
No, fuck that.
You mean well though, but so it's different. But no, I've never.
Years ago, it was around Christmas time. I just know that. My brother was playing online. He was playing 2K with a couple of his friends, maybe 4 or 5 of them. My son was there too. So at this point, my son is maybe like, he's 13 now. So he was like maybe like 8. I don't swear around him. I don't really say bad stuff around him. I try not to troll people. Like I'll make a joke, but nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. So my brother's there playing video games. I'm kind of playing with him and his friend, and then I stop. Him and his friends, and then I stop. And he's on the mic with all of them. And one of them said something, and I'm like, who is that? His voice is annoying. And the guy's like, oh, tell your brother to shut up, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, who's he talking to? And then everyone's laughing because they know how I can get. So I'm like, you know what, Kaden here, I'm not trying to, let me just relax. So the guy's still going.
That's when you're like, Kaden, step out the room for a second.
And we were in the living room, and he was just like, oh, what, your brother has nothing better to do? Tell him to go find himself a girlfriend. What, he's in his 20s and he's playing with his younger brother? And I was like, oh, we're doing that? I told that kid to go find his fucking mother, because obviously he has nothing better to do. She doesn't love him. That's why she bought him the game, so he can leave her alone. And I'm like, his name was like Creeper Tuck. I don't know what it was. And I'm like,
don't give up the man's game.
I don't care. I'm like, Creeper Tux, what are you tucking, Creeper? You're tucking your... And then I stopped, and I look over, and Caden's there, and Caden is like beside himself right now. My brother and his friends are on the mic dying, but I'm not listening to the laugher. I'm listening to that bitch on the other side.
Oh my God.
And then I had to catch myself. And I was like, you know what?
I can't.
You know what? You're going to take me out my church, as my aunt always says to me. Yeah, no. So sometimes people need it. No, you're going to have to. No. I'm even getting. No. Fuck that.
That's getting heated right now.
No. And if I'm playing a game with somebody and I'm not saying nothing and they're beating me and they're talking shit, I'm going to talk shit. Even though I'm losing, I'm going to talk shit because you're talking shit. So you're not going to have the last laugh, even though you are going to have the last laugh. But fuck you. I'm going down swinging. Fuck all you guys who think you're good at games and talk shit. Fuck all you.
Damn. I felt the passion on that one. I think that this is a good time to get into the listener question before Des goes off.
Question of the day?
That's what I meant to say. I was just making sure you were paying attention.
Okay, that's good. Okay. I appreciate that.
Question of the day. Yes. That's what I meant. Of course. I just want to keep you on your toes, you know?
Fucking trolls.
I told you, we need to transition before it just goes off. What is the most pain you've ever been in that was not physical? 1,000,000% heartbreak. 1,000,000%.
Was my dad. The reason why I say that is most guys, men, whatever you want to call them, boys, children, who grew up with not their biological father have most kids who didn't grow up with a biological parent. You have 1,000,000 questions. As a young man, it's I don't want to say it's different, but any child, like, you know, let's say a girl grows up with not her mom and, you know, she has to figure out how to do her hair kind of shit. You know, you look at other girls like, oh, her mom's doing her hair. So as a young man, like, I used to watch kids at the park play with their dad. Me and my stepdad didn't have a good relationship. So that wasn't even like, oh, why don't you? No, not a fucking chance. So seeing that stuff and all that, I met my biological father when I was 13, 14. I've spoken to him a couple times before that whenever my mom tells me to call him and ask him for money, but other than that, we didn't speak. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't care anything about him. I didn't even question anything about him. I just didn't care. So when I met him when I was 13, 14, it was very weird. However, I spent the summer with him, but he wasn't home. He was at work all the time. So I wasn't concerned about that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of spending...
You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. I hung out with his friend.
I get it. He has to work, but...
I hung out with his friend. His friend was a lot of fun. His friend had he was an entrepreneur, so he had everything. Everything.
He was a successful entrepreneur.
Very successful.
Because you got to put that in there.
Yeah, he was a very sex.
Whoa.
Wow. Nothing happened. I swear. He didn't do anything.
He was a very sexual entrepreneur.
He was very
Des, blink once if you need help.
Closes my eyes. He was very successful and he was a lot of fun to be around. He was always like, oh, what do you want to do? And I'd be like, oh, nothing. And he's like, nah, fuck that. You're in Florida. We got to go do some shit. Great. We went to the movies.
Florida man takes a kid on a joyride. That's a headline.
He even planned for us to go to Disney World kind of thing, but it didn't end up happening. But it was fine. The fact that he even made the plan and all that stuff, I was very thankful for that. Right. Whereas my dad was like, whatever, do whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I had my son, my dad called me and tried to have a sex talk with me. And I was like, are you really going to do this now? Really? And I hung up the phone. We're not doing that.
What?
And then I went to Florida, I think. Yeah, I went to Florida again with my son when he was maybe 2, 3. And that time, I kind of saw my dad a little bit more. And I remember I asked him to watch my son one night. And he was like, no. And I'm like, you're not going to watch him. No, bring him with you. I was like, forget it. I realized he said no because you don't know how to raise children. You don't know what to do with a child. Because
you know how to raise him to himself.
Thank you. So when I was about 23, 24, this is when me and my ex broke up. Right when I was having these lucid dreams that I didn't understand why I'm always chasing her kind of thing. A lot of shit was going on around that time that I'm questioning my whole entire existence at this point. So me and my dad, we have each other's number and he would check in every now and again, whatever. So one day we're messaging and I'm like, can I ask you a question I've always wanted to ask you? And he's like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, why weren't you around when I was a child? What happened between you? Did you not care? Did mom do something? Whatever. And he gave me the stupidest fucking answer I've ever heard in my life. And I wasn't mad. It was more disappointment. Mm-hmm. Because at this point, I'm not a grown man, but I'm a grown man.
You're a grown man. man.
You're
a grown man.
You know why I said, because 23, like, you feel,
but
I'm a grown man. Yeah. In society, I'm a grown man.
Not just in society. To this other grown man who doesn't know you, he didn't see you as a kid. Like, you're a grown man.
Apparently he did. His words were, the baby hog asked the father hog, why is your horns like that? And the father hog said, one day you too will understand.
That was his response.
That was his fucking response to why you weren't around when I was a child. So I said, okay, thank you. Block, delete. And I can't say never spoke to him again. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with this guy. I don't give a fuck if he drops dead and leaves me $20 million.
Yo,
I don't want that.
That answer's a joke.
Thank you. So I told my mom. My mom was beyond pissed and whatever. So time went on and I found out I have a sister and blah, blah, blah. So I started talking to her and she was just like, you give him a chance, and I'm like, honestly, no. Because this guy will leave you nothing but disappointed. She's like, well, she never knew about him until maybe a couple months before me and her even spoke. And at this point, she was 19.
So she doesn't know the version of him that you know.
Exactly. So and I can't project that onto her.
Give him a chance.
Exactly.
And blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So I went and I started talking to him and I let him know, like, yo, I'm only talking to you because she asked me to. And because she doesn't know the wicked man you are, I'll let her find out on her own, kind of thing. So,
do you guys still have an open line of communication right now?
Fast forward.
I'm like, what is this bird squawking?
My sister opens up to me about her sexual preference. Mm-hmm. And I know my dad's not up for that. And me and her spoke about it because she knows he's not up for that. Because he said something when they ended up meeting and talking. Because he's never met her either. So they end up meeting and talking, and he said something that rubbed her the wrong way, and she didn't know if she can open up to him. So I'm like, do you want me to talk to him first? So anyways, I talk to him, and I'm like, listen, if you break her heart, I promise you, you will never hear from me again. I swear to you. And he's just like, oh, well, me no in that thing there. And I don't care what you're in. It's her. This is not about you. It's about her. Long story short, when she opened up to him and told him, he didn't have a complete negative response. He just gave a typical Christian response, which is not a good response. Mm-hmm. And I never said another word to him ever again. Here we are. And I feel no fucking ways.
It's funny that you speak about, like, the most pain that you've ever been in, most non-physical pain that you've ever been in, as associating with your dad, because, like, I agree. So as I said, for me, it's like by far heartbreak, mm-hmm. but, like, I don't think heartbreak has to be only romantic.
No.
And, like, obviously in life you go through lots of heartbreak, but I think like being cast aside and, like, essentially, like, disowned by my dad when, mm-hmm. like, he embraces my other siblings, and just, like, a life of wondering, like, why I'm not enough, mm-hmm. and, like, why me, like, what did I do when, like, you're a kid, you didn't do anything. I think that is definitely, like, the worst pain I felt that's not physical, because, like, emotional pain, man, I feel like emotional pain can sometimes mm-hmm. hurt more than physical pain.
Oh, for sure.
And I say that coming from, like, a lot of physical pain as well. And, like, man, the emotional pain, it hits different, and, like, in, like, not a good way.
Yeah, and it sits with you.
Yeah. So I found it very ironic in, like, the worst way, though, that like, you also equated it to your father. Yeah. I feel like we should change the name of this podcast to Daddy Issues. He gave me a look like, hey, we just might, And then he laughed, just so you guys all know what went on just now. But yeah, interesting. We hope that you guys listening don't have daddy issues like us. We hope that you, Alex, also don't have daddy issues, because it is definitely a pain that nobody wants to feel. Or mommy. Like, listen, parents.
Yeah.
I think parents can inflict probably the most pain.
Yeah.
Out of anybody.
Oh, for sure.
Like, parents, yikes. Anyways, that is gonna bring us to the end of our episode. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. We hope you dream pleasant,
please do,
wonderful dreams. We hope that if you choose to lucid dream, you do so safely.
Yep.
Don't ask the date and time, but if you do, can you write into us?
Yeah,
and tell
if you
us
have any
happens?
stories like this, let us know.
Yeah, because I think Des, are you gonna try it?
For sure. Fuck yeah.
Oh god, that give me goosebumps. But like, I want to hear, but like, I don't. Like, just don't like do it around me. Like, if you're ever sleeping and you know, like, I'm in the vicinity, don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Please, I don't want to be around that. But yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next Tuesday.